everyone. Another book today at Cindy Harper Speaks, and this is another book featuring the Berenstain Bears. And it has 8 separate stories in the book. So it's all about manners. And I believe a lot of people in our society today have forgotten to say please and thank you and excuse me and you're welcome. So the Berenstain Bears say please and thank you. It's by Jan and Mike Berenstain. Or Jan and Mike. I think I said Jan and Jane. I don't know what I said. But anyway, the Berenstain Bears say please and thank you by Jan and Mike Berenstain. So the first one is about please. Brother and Papa Bear were going fishing. They had their rods and reels. They had their hooks and bobbers. Most important, they had their bait, a nice can of worms. Down by the pond, they baited their hooks and cast out their lines. Brother watched his bobber bob up and down in the breeze, but it didn't go underwater. If the fish bit, it would go all the way under. So this is the bobber. I didn't know what the bobber was. It was quiet by the pond, and Papa fell asleep. All you could hear was his snoring. Then Brother's bobber bobbed up and down. It went all the way under the water. I've got a bite, said Brother. Huh? Said Papa, waking up. Don't pull too hard. Just give it a little yank and reel it in. Brother landed a fine, fat sunfish. They took out the hook and let it go. It wriggled away under the lily pads. So Brother just caught it and let the fish go. That was fun, said Brother, getting ready to bait his hook again. Pass the worms. Aren't you forgetting something, Brother? Asked Papa. Brother was puzzled. I've got my rod and reel, he said. Right, said Papa. I've got my hook and bobber, said Brother. Uh-huh, said Papa. I just need another worm, said Brother. What am I forgetting? You forgot to say please, Papa told him. Oh, yeah, said Brother. I was so excited about catching the fish that I forgot. Will you please pass the worms, he added. Of course, Papa smiled, passing him the can of worms. Brother baited his hook and cast out his line. It's always important to remember to be polite, said Papa, even when you're going fishing. Will it help us catch more fish, asked Brother, watching his bobber. Maybe not, admitted Papa, but it makes everything go smoother. And he settled back to finish his nap. That was the first one. Now let's read about thank you. So remember, when you ask someone a question, say please. Now let's read about thank you. One afternoon, Brother, Sister, and Honey Bear were making mud pies. They made apple mud pies, cherry mud pies, blueberry mud pies, and coconut cream mud pies. If we sell these pies, said Sister, we can make a lot of money. Good idea, said Brother. Good, said Honey. They put their mud pies by the side of the road with a sign. Fresh baked mud pies, 5 cents. Too Tall Grizzly and his gang came along. Why would we want to buy your stupid mud pies? Too Tall laughed, and his gang laughed too. Queenie McBear and her friends rode by on their bikes. We can't eat mud, said Queenie. Come, girls. They pedaled off in a cloud of dust. Brothers and sisters' friends walked past. These are nice mud pies, they said, but we don't have any money. They walked on. No one wants our mud pies, Brother sighed. We'll wait until the right customer comes along, said Sister. At last, a long lavender limousine pulled up, and Mayor and Mrs. Honeypot got out. Oh, isn't this darling, said Mrs. Honeypot. You cubs are so creative. I'll buy every one of your pies. Wow. How many pies did they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shouldn't you say something now? Mrs. Honeypot smiled. Thank you, said Sister. Thank you, said Brother. Thanks, said Honey. That's the right thing to say when someone buys all your mud pies. Mrs. Honeypot laughed. Come, Horace. So Mrs. Honeypot bought all their mud pies for 5 cents apiece and drove off with them in the long lavender limousine. Well, said Sister as the cubs counted their money, she must really like pie. I'll read one more. You're welcome. So far, we've talked about please, thank you, and you're welcome. And you're welcome is something that you respond when someone tells you thank you, you say you're welcome. So let's see how the bears handle you're welcome. The bear family was down at the beach for the day. They went swimming, buried each other in the sand, played frisbee, and lay in the sun. After lying in the sun for about 5 minutes, Sister, Brother, and Honey felt hot. Let's build a sand castle, said Sister. Brother and Honey liked the idea. They started to pile up sand. Building a sand castle, I see, said Papa. I'll help. I'm a sand castle expert. So they're playing frisbee, laying in the sun. Now they're going to build a sand castle, building a sand castle here in the water. Papa helped the cubs make a huge sand pile. Now we'll need driftwood, shells, and buckets of water, said Papa. Brother found pieces of driftwood. Sister collected shells, and Honey found a long seagull feather. Papa carried buckets of water from the sea. First, they built a tower and wetted it down with seawater to make it stick together. They decorated it with shells and put the seagull feather in the top for a flag. Very creative. Next, they made a wall and a moat. Here's a wall. The moat is where the water flows, with a driftwood drawbridge. They dug a trench down to the water to fill it up. This is the best sand castle ever, said Sister. Thanks for helping us, Papa, said Brother. We couldn't have done it without you. You're welcome, said Papa. I love to build things with you. You're very welcome indeed. Just then a big wave came rolling up the beach. The cubs ran away, but the wave crashed over the sand castle. It crashed over Papa, too. The cubs helped Papa up. Thanks, said Papa. You're welcome, said Brother and Sister. Welcome, said Honey. Their sandcastle was washed away. The only thing left was the seagull feather sticking in the sand. Let's build another one, said Sister. Okay, said Brother. Okay, said Honey. I'll help you, said Papa. Thanks, Papa. And the cubs giving him a big hug. You're welcome, said Papa Bear. Awesome. So the next one is excuse me, but we will read that one another day. So the Berenstain Bears, please, thank you, you're welcome. The next one's going to be excuse me. So hopefully you, if you aren't already saying please, thank you, and you're welcome, hopefully you interject that into your conversation when it's appropriate. People are much more appreciative and will help you more and do more for you when you are grateful. So always show your gratitude. They can do the simplest thing. They can leave you a little cookie. They can give you a smile. Always have a grateful heart and be expressive with your gratitude. So if you liked the Berenstain Bears, say please and thank you. Please press like at the end, and I'll see you next time at Cindy Harper Speaks. Thanks for tuning in, and bye for now.